Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Ashley, and today we are doing a story time. Alright, so I wanted to do a story time because recently I got into a car accident and it felt like a near-death experience for me, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I thought it would be interesting and maybe you guys could learn something from it. So I think it's been about like 2 or 3 weeks since I had been in the accident. I didn't get hurt or anything. Like, the way it happened was very like lucky and everything. But I wanted to share it with you guys because I thought it would be interesting. Okay, so it was around like Thanksgiving, which wasn't that long ago. Today's December 1st, so what, a week or two ago. I decided to go hang out with some friends from school, and I had one friend from school, and she invited me to go to this like Friendsgiving thing, and I decided to go. So we went to her friend's house, and we were kind of just like eating dinner, hanging out. We decided to go out in the car. They were showing me around because I'm not from this area, so since I'm from Delaware, like, I don't really know anything around here, and they were kind of just showing me things around, and we were in the car, and I decided to go out too because that day was my dad's 52nd birthday, and as you guys know, I don't have my dad anymore. He's passed away. So I wanted to do something instead of just kind of like laying down and doing nothing. I kind of wanted to try and be proactive and do something that day. Which is like so ironic with what happened. So we're in the car, and my friend is in the passenger seat, and her friend is in, I'll say she and he, I don't want to like say their names. So he is in the driver's seat, she's in the passenger seat, and I'm behind her in like the passenger's back seat. And I'm going to enter pictures through this stuff so you guys can kind of like get a feel for it. And so we're just driving, and it's like slushy out. Like, this is probably like the first snow we've had of the year, and it's kind of like slushy out on the roads, and you should go slow on the roads. I think we were going the speed limit. I was in the back, so I wasn't paying attention that much. But I was in the back, and I'm pretty sure we were going the speed limit, maybe like a little bit over, which we probably shouldn't have been in that like kind of weather. But they didn't have their seatbelts on, and I had my seatbelt on. And so we're driving, and I look to my right, and all I see is like this big giant like telephone pole coming near me really quick, and she in front of me said that like she saw my face in the rearview mirror and looked, and she was like, oh my gosh, and we both closed our eyes at the same exact time because we were like preparing for like impact to be like hit by the telephone pole, and somehow we missed it. I really don't know, because like I just remember looking, and I just like closed my eyes because I was ready to get like hit by this pole, and then all of a sudden we're like this and we're all freaking out, and like they're very like comedic people, like they're always laughing and stuff. Like, in this moment it felt like everything went silent. Like, nobody was laughing, like everyone was serious. We're like, oh my gosh, like what do we do, and we didn't really know what kind of situation we were in yet. We kind of thought we were in like a ditch, and that's what everyone else in the story also thought too, like when I get to it. So we're like this, and literally, I mean, I kind of have trouble like figuring out the exact events because it all happened so quick, and so we're like this, and it feels like I'm on a roller coaster, but I'm stuck this way and I cannot move, and I can just feel the gravity like pushing me down, and I take my seatbelt off as soon as the accident happens, which I shouldn't have done, but like I was like, oh, like I need to get out of this car really quick. But I didn't realize what kind of situation I was in, and so we roll the window down, and all I can see is branches, and like white snowy branches, and all I can hear is water. So we realize we're on what feels like Mount Everest. Like, it feels like a cliff. We found out we weren't on Mount Everest, we were on more of a hill, but like it still was very dangerous. And so it literally felt like Mount Everest, and I was like, roll the window up, because like that took my breath away. And so we're sitting like that. We're like, what do we do? And he says to her, like, climb over me, like, get out, like, save yourself or whatever. And she's like, no, I can't move. Like, so we decided to call 911. And we're like, hey, like, she calls 911. She's like, we're stuck in like a ditch, and like we don't know what to do, and blah 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 blah. And so the dispatcher never asked if we were like in danger, but we were like waiting for the car to tip. Like, we thought we were gonna roll. And later on, like after the event happened, she said that like if we did roll, we probably would have rolled like 2 or 3 times. And so we're just like sitting like that, and like I call my mom. No, the first person I call is Perry, because he's like here in where I am. So I was like, hey Perry, like I got into an accident, like I don't know what to do, I just want to let you know I love you. And he was like, calm down, like it's gonna be okay. I was like, I need to call my mom. He was like, okay, I'll see you later. And like I don't think he understood that like I was calling to say like my final goodbye, like I love you. And like I don't think he got that, because he was like, oh, like I'll see you later. I don't think he understood that, because he got into a car accident once and he kind of just fell into a ditch, but we were literally hanging like that. And I don't think he understood, because like I would have called after the accident happened and been like, hey, I got into an accident, hon, I'm okay. But I was literally in the accident calling him, because I was like, if I am going to say something, like I need to say I love you. And so I call my mom, and my mom knows like in my voice, because my voice is really shaken up, and I'm like, hey mom, like I just need to let you know that I love you, and I got into an accident and I don't know what's gonna happen. She's like, where are you? And I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, let me call court real quick. And she's like, call me back as soon as you can. And she knew like something was wrong, and she told me afterwards she was like calling my sister and, you know, freaking out. And then I called court, and I was like, hey, like I love you, I'm in an accident, I just need to let you know that. And like basically those are the 3 people I called at the moment. And then I like started having like a panic attack. I was like my breath started like rapidly pacing, and she from the front was trying to calm me down. She was like, it's gonna be okay, Ashley, like don't worry. And she was like being really, really good, because like they were freaking out too, but I was probably freaking out the most, because I was like, they didn't know it was my dad's 52nd birthday. I told them afterwards, but like I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to like, you know, make them feel weird or have to be like sympathetic towards me or anything for that day. So I didn't want to be weird, so I didn't tell them before like I went out with them. But like in my head I was like, this is the way I'm going to go out, like literally on my dad's 52nd birthday. And we're like trying not to move, we're trying to be as still as possible, because we're scared that the vehicle is going to tip over. And literally like the wheel was like off the ground. And I think the only thing holding us up was like some of the wheels were probably in mud a bit, and then there was a bunch of like tree branches that were probably helping hold us up. And a nurse stopped on the side of the road and was like, hey, is anybody injured? I couldn't even see the nurse. I could barely hear her, and she just waited till the police got there. And when the police got there, the guy, I guess, took people out depending on like how the car is going to flip, because most of the weight was on the side that was like towards like where the water was, which was me and her in the front. I was in the back and she was in the front, so like we were just, like I said, just waiting to tip. And you know how like if you're in a car and you look to your left and you see a person there, you can probably see like their neck under. Well, when the police opened the door, I was the first one to go out. He grabbed me first. When the police opened the door, I could see his neck up, which was like terrifying. And he literally like pulled me out of the car, and I had to like use my feet and kind of like climb up the car. And as soon as I got out, I just started crying, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then they pulled her out, and then he like jumped out, because he was like the closest to be able to get out. Like her and I physically probably couldn't get out, because like if we climbed, it probably would like tipped or something if we put like too much pressure on it. So we waited for someone to pull us out. And yeah, and like the police had like the road blocked off and everything, and they were like, is anybody injured? And they were like, if we knew how bad it was, we would have been here a lot quicker. Like, they said they didn't come as quick because everyone just thought we were in a ditch. We were like hanging off of a hill. And they were like, you guys are really lucky. Like, we would have been here a whole lot sooner if we knew. And, yeah. So, I literally, like, think that, like, my dad saved me that day because I was so scared. I really felt like I was gonna go out that way, and when we went back to like the scene the next day and to see what it was, because it was nighttime, so like I said, it literally felt like Mount Everest. Like, I could just feel like the gravity pulling out my body, and it definitely was a drop, not as like big as it felt, but like we would have gotten hurt if it did. And like, the police don't know how we missed that telephone pole. I don't know how we missed that telephone pole, because when you guys see in the pictures, like, it's so close. Like, we literally just missed it, and I just know that, and we didn't come out with a scratch. The car didn't even get totaled. Like, the car just had, like, the front messed up a bit. And I was, like, literally, like, that was a miracle that day. And I'm so thankful for that. And if anything, what I kind of want to like share with you guys is make sure you wear your seatbelt, because apparently it can save lives. And also, because of that accident, now in crazier weather, I drive like a grandma, and I think you guys should just be careful, because you really don't know when anything like little can happen. Like, I feel like sometimes we just think we're invincible and like nothing's going to happen to us, and then you're in that situation, you're like, oh my gosh, something can happen to me. So I just want to make sure that you guys are careful. I'm definitely careful now too. And if someone in front of you is going a bit slow, a lot of times we judge people and get road rage in the car with people in front of us, because we're like, go, 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 but like, we don't know what's going on in someone else's life, and we don't know who they are. And I'm sure if you met that person in person, that you would be okay with them. So if someone's going slow, just go around them, or just be patient. It's different if they're in the fast lane. If they're in the fast lane, they shouldn't be going slow. They should move over. But if they're in the other lane, just let them be. If you guys have like any experiences or anything you want to share with me, if you found this video interesting, please let me know. This is the first time I've done the story time. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great one, and I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!